back even further, when did you guys start moving and figuring out your body in terms of training and things like that? Like, when did you think like movement is very important for life, or I want to do this every single day? Like, how did you guys tell me about that journey, I guess, that led up into that?
Yeah, I remember in high school, so as an eighth grader, I went to a pretty small school, but as an eighth grader, I was starting to work out with like our varsity basketball team.
Okay.
And, as an eighth grader, you're pretty skinny, scrawny. So at that time, it was like, all right, I got to get strong. And then as you grow just through high school, normally it's like, okay, I'm about the same size as everyone now. Now I'm like a sophomore or junior or whatever.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, I can dunk. This is cool. So then you start working on like power stuff. And,
right. Explosive power. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went through like that whole.
I started dunking.
Yeah.
That's why.
But then I went through that transition. And then when I went to St. John Fisher, we were on these good workout programs that were really, they were specified towards getting bigger, which I did need to.
So more like strengthening, not really like agility or speed or.
Exactly. I mean, that all that was incorporated into it. But I think the biggest thing was, especially for me, was let's get you a little bigger. Then you can guard a wing, but then you can guard like a forward down in the post. Because I was kind of, I don't know.
Skinny.
I was skinny, but like I was tall though, so I needed to be able to guard different positions.
Gotcha.
So I found that I did get a little too big at one point. I wasn't huge by any means, but I could tell that it was starting to take away from some of my power and just explosiveness. And after college, I started doing more CrossFit style workouts. She actually got me into the CrossFit stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of explosive stuff, Olympic lifting, that type of thing. And I'm probably more athletic now than I was in college, like jumping wise stuff, because I'm doing things like cleans, deadlifts, snatches, that type of stuff.
More compound movements at higher pace and more strengthening. Yeah, it's like a combination.
Right, and it's always like you look back and like, man, I wish I knew that like 10 years ago, and I wish I was doing that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know what to be doing, and now we have an awesome trainer who gives us our workouts. So he'll give us a workout. We'll go to the gym, do it. But he's very much into, like I just said, it's not a CrossFit gym, but it's CrossFit style workouts. You do the strength, you do the explosive.
It's a lot of cross training.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's cardio mixed in with it as well, stability training, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the progression that I went through, and that's where I'm at now. Like, I don't do a lot of long distance running. Not that that's bad or anything. That's just not really what I do. I get my cardio just in a different way.
Through basketball or something else.
Yeah, or just, like a Metcon or whatever in my workouts, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Jess, what about you?
Yeah,
what was your journey like?
Yeah, sports as a kid pretty much was it for me. And then getting into college, you have to work out in the off season, but working out was more long distance running, sprinting for literally hours for training for soccer. And you get really thin, and you stay, your cardiovascular, it's awesome. Like, I could run forever back then.
Right.
I just don't need that type of workout anymore. And I used to do it 6 days a week, and be with a physical job, like, that's exhausting. So it was a little bit of a transition, like, working, transitioning to like lifestyle working,
right.
Knowing that like you need those rest days. And when we found actually Luke, so another shout out to Luke at Revive, but he, like we work out with him 2 or 3 times a week. And then from there, I'm pretty much just moving for fun. So I'm pushing myself, weightlifting, doing the finding cardiovascular that way.
Gotcha.
2 to 3 times a week, and that's pretty much enough. And then maybe I'll add in like a long run. For now is like, now at this point in my life is 2 to 3 miles at the most.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of bang for your buck that way, and I'm getting the rest that I need. And
right, you're not burning yourself out, because if you do get injured, that's going to harm you a lot more, especially at work. We don't have desk jobs, right?
Right, we don't have desk jobs, and I like Will said, like, I'm stronger now than I was in college. And
gotcha. Do you think it helps with your adjustments as well?
Absolutely. Like, and I need that, right? Because more than 80% of my patients are probably bigger than me.
Yeah, but they did say in at NYCC that if you're like a female chiropractor and you're small, you're more likely to be a better adjuster because you can't just outmuscle them.
You gotta be fast.
Yeah.
Like you need to have that finesse as much as possible. You need to
Oh,
hit
yeah.
it right on with the least amount of power, I guess, or weight thrown onto it. Whereas bigger
Right.
guys can just like crank them or like drop their weight onto it. And
Right.
they'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's
Hard to
another
see,
thing
but
with what we were talking about. You can see the transition that professional athletes go through in like the sports science world of like, um, let's say the NBA back in the 90s, guys were getting ripped, they were jacked. And
yeah,
now you can like look at LeBron James when he first came in the league, pretty skinny. Then he got huge, and I remember I went to a game and like he was next to Ben Wallace, and I couldn't even tell which one was which. And
wow,
then he went through another transition at the end of his Miami days, and I think he
yeah,
changed his diet where he got skinnier again. And I read an article just saying how that's for the longevity of his career and explosiveness. He wants to. It's not all about getting big and bulky, but you got to be functional, powerful.
right.
Um, and that's just going to save his joints in the long run. He's the most durable player the NBA's ever seen,
Right.
probably.
So if you were to recommend like a training program or something to someone, let's say a high school athlete or a college athlete, you'd probably say like CrossFit or some sort of cross training is probably ideal. Or do you think it's better to go through like your journey, which is try weight training, get big, then you realize that your speed slows down, and then let them figure it out? Or like what would be your recommendation?
Yeah, if I was treating a kid and he was asking about what he should do for workouts, I would say it depends on what your goals are. If you're a baseball player, you should do workouts that are explosive based, but also you want to work on shoulder stability, and then you have to work on just rotational power, rotational movements, that type of
Right,
thing.
right,
Being explosive in the transverse plane. But then if you're a runner, you obviously have to run a lot, but then you should add some strength in with that as well.
gotcha.
So it's all just, in my opinion, it's all based on what your goals are.
Right,
And like if you want to lose weight, you probably, your goals are going to be, or what you're doing is going to be a little different than a college athlete.
right. That makes sense. So what keeps you